hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Hello, my friends. Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Here we are this week, and I have some really, really exciting news that I want to share with you all. And this comes with like such joy, and it's like a piece of love that I'm putting out into the world, and I get to share it with you here first. So I'm so excited to announce that I have a brand new course that I am now offering. And the course title is actually one of my 12 values. It's Ripe, Wild, and Fierce, but the course title is actually How to Be Ripe, Wild, and Fierce. And this is true for people personally and professionally, true for women personally and professionally. So it's a new course, and it's all about personal power and strength. And as this is one of my values, I thought it was something, it has been something for me that's really been impactful in my life. With our values, I make all my decisions through my values, and I'm clear on what my values are. And with this personal power and strength, it's really about our innate power and personal power that's within inside of us that we are born with. And we source our confidence from. Like, innate power is an inside job. Confidence is an inside job to an outer job, right? And it's that femme power that we all have within all of us. So one of the things I want to just share with you on this podcast, what the course is about and what I'm actually teaching in the course and guiding women on in the course. I touch on, and we do this here through podcasts, how our thoughts create our feelings and our feelings create our actions. And it's really coming back to our mind and our mindset, and really owning and managing our brains and managing our minds and choosing better thoughts that create better feelings, that create better actions in our lives. So it's really recognizing that we have the power, and we are so powerful to create our lives, and to create a life as a woman of who do we want to be, and unleashing that inner part of us, that inner ripeness, that inner wildness, and that fierceness that we have, and to really elevate into the woman that we want to be. So we are high value women. And in the course, we also talk a little bit about, when I say we, I'm really sharing about me with you, you all with me. And I really talk a lot about what to say yes to, what to say no to open you up and make you available to greatness in your life, to embracing your authentic, truest self, deciding right now that you are beautiful. And I share with you some secrets in the course that I have learned through my journey in my corporate career, on my entrepreneurial career, and in my life personally, in my relationships and living life, that I've put into this course. And it is, oh my gosh, it is it's a treasure to me. And I'm so excited for you. I really, really want for you to experience this course. And I just want to cover a little bit about what's in the course to give you a better idea as well. So I have 5 modules, and I have 2 bonuses with it, and they're all video. And there's also downloadables with each module and each of the bonuses. So there's downloadables that are questions, things to think about, things to take some of the learning and awareness a little bit deeper. So in module 1, I really talk about the foundation. This lays the foundation for the course. And it's really about becoming the woman that you want to become. The question is, who do you want to be? And the first module is, who do you want to become? And it's really based around all of that. And module 1 is really about setting the intention and going through the mindset and learning how to move forward through the course with some of our belief systems, and just stepping back and making you aware of how you're being today and who you want to be as you go forward in the future, and some questions to think about as you go forward. So, powerful foundation. Module 2 is all about living ripe. And being ripe is really about giving yourself permission. It's permission to be the woman that you have always wanted to be, your fullest self, your ripest self, your juiciest self, your most sensual self. And ladies, I am here to tell you that it is time to have a conversation. It is time to look at pleasure and bringing pleasure into our lives and having a conversation about the sensual side. Because when you start with who you are, so it's be, and then do, then have. And when I shifted this in my whole life, I became more successful in my career. I became, instead of just getting a career plan of what jobs do I want to do, and instead of just showing up for my relationships, instead of showing up for my life, really coming back to myself and really understanding my ripeness, my divine feminine self as a woman, and who I am, who I wanted to be, how I wanted to show up, how I wanted to live life as my authentic, fullest self, and giving myself full on permission to be me, completely me. That was a very, very powerful shift for me. And I've experienced so much more abundance and joy and connection and happiness and harmony and ease and flow in my life because of that. So then we move on to module 3, and that's where I talk about being wild. It's the inner wild child, and it's really about showing up fully for your life. It is being very intentional to live life. We are all here to live lives. Life is such a gift. And when we can live our life fully, by intention, on purpose, as a ripe and wild woman, we will have adventures and fun and joy. And it's also about taking action to be authentic. And when you are authentic, you will have this elevation. You will have this expansion in your life. You will stop running away from yourself. You will stop making yourself small. And when you will come back to yourself, and when you show up fully for yourself without apology, being unapologetic, completely who you are, want what you want, be ripe, want what you want, and go get that for yourself. And if it's wild, so what? So what? If somebody doesn't like that, who cares? Whatever they think is none of your business. Whatever they think of you is none of your business. That's their problem. That's on them. So I share with you a little bit about my wildness, and I actually show you on camera, and we talk about it. And it's so much fun. I've had wild travel adventures in my life, and I share some of that. And it's really taking away and learning lessons about that. So then we move on to module 4, and that's really about being fierce. And fierce with boundaries. Fierceness is about boundaries. That's a part of this personal power and strength. It's really about feminine strength. And we touch on the masculine and feminine aspects because we all have masculine and feminine inside of us. And for me, when I was younger, early on, I was very, very feminine, and I am today, but I'm feminine and powerful. And when I was younger and feminine, I was I'm more quiet. I'm very sensitive. And then as I had more of the disease to please earlier in life. And then, I was struggling with that, and I was always compromising. So then I started manning up, and I share a little bit about the masculine aspects and how I had to really step into my masculine, but then I overdid it and I started manning up. And then I went from like one extreme to the other, and I share that, and we talk about the aspects and qualities of that. And then coming back to that sweet spot, and coming back to the true inner power and sourcing from your inner power and your confidence and being clear in who you are as a woman. And then intentionally sourcing, living from the feminine, but sourcing from the masculine or the fierce feminine and living life that way. I teach that, and I teach how to really transform and evolve and use that to your advantage. That's what feminine power is all about. That's what your innate power is all about, which is where confidence comes from. And we talk about that in module 4. So then module 5 is kind of wrapping up some of the points and kind of recapping what we talked about in modules 1, 2, 3, and 4. In module 5, it's really how to integrate that into your daily life and some tips and guidance and steps of what you can do daily, each and every day of your life, how to integrate these ways and these things and this thinking into your life. And then I go on to 2 bonuses. There's a bonus 1 because I really want to drive down deeper and really cement this in. I really want to lock it in. And bonus 1 is 10 secrets about the art of pleasure. 10 secrets to the art of pleasure. It is juicy. It is straightforward. I give you 10 tips on how to live more pleasurable. And this is where I learned from French women and living in the French culture, living in Paris, traveling all over Paris, and now being married to a French man, having that reinforced daily. I cannot believe I didn't turn my phone off. Can you believe this? I do this. Have you noticed this? If you guys have followed me, you'll notice I have a tendency to not put my phone on airplane mode. So that just happened again. And I am so sorry. I apologize for that. But that's it. You know what? You got to witness me having a moment of like, whoopsie. Anyways, I'm just going to keep going here. So this is really about the art of pleasure, learning what I learned from the French and what gets reinforced that I've had to learn to bring into my daily life. I talk about, French women, they spend more than twice as much time as American women on pleasurable things like eating and sleeping and joyful things. And they do it exquisitely and beautifully. So I talk about this because I was very impacted and inspired by the French culture and French women and French life and art and design and being a designer and being a creative. High influence on me. So the art of pleasure, we don't talk about that enough as women. And I think that's an international issue. We are wired for pleasure. Like physically we're wired for pleasure, but we are just wired for pleasure. As women, we don't do this enough in our lives, really carving out that time to have that little piece of chocolate in the afternoon and just savoring it bite by bite and having pleasure and joy, tasting it. What is the texture? What is the flavor as it goes across your lips and melts on your tongue? Finding out what pleases you. So really, these 10 secrets are really what cements it and takes it deeper. So important to be a ripe, wild, and fierce woman. And then bonus number 2, that is all about how to stop the overwhelm so that way you can live as a ripe, wild, and fierce woman or have a ripe, wild, and fierce lifestyle. Overwhelm is an emotion, and thoughts create our emotions and our feelings. So really cementing in that overwhelm is a choice and that we can change and we don't have to feel overwhelmed anymore. For me, I have a very, very full life and I have my corporate career, I have my entrepreneurial journey, I have hobbies, I have a lot going on in my life, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels full and rich and vibrant and radiant because I choose to see it as that, what you think it is, what you believe it is. And so when you can get out of the overwhelm energy, when you can step back from it and get off that high and reframe that and find a new way to get that high, to get an experience in a more healthy, in a more positive, in a more flowing way, stopping the overwhelm. I give you all the tricks and the tools and the tips on how to do it. And we go deep in bonus 2, just to augment in what we were talking about in some of the earlier modules. And then we wrap it all up. So with that was just an overview. I'm really, really excited about this because I've taken all of my wisdom in my life, decades and decades of my experience in my career and in my life, and I share in there some really some tragic moments in my life, like really heartbreaking, really hard stuff, and I share that. And I'm very open, I'm very vulnerable about that, and I just want to share with you the lessons and the learning that I've had so that way I can put that out there, and hopefully that helps other women to really step into and be inspired by some of the stories I share and by some of the teachings I share to really own who they are and to really elevate and want to move forward and maybe get unstuck, move forward, step into their life fully, authentically, wholesomely. So, and there's downloadables. I have downloadables for each of the bonuses for the modules as well. And I also want to share with you that I have a private Facebook group as well that you can join. And that is a community. It's a low cost item. I do coaching in there. I do teaching in there. I interact with the community in there, and it's so much fun. It's a way to be around like-minded women that have each other's backs and that want to come to a private place. I call it my secret society because it's Susan's secret society, because it is a private place for us to go, to share, to learn, to grow, and to have that support system in place, and to get some coaching and to get some guidance. And we pick a different topic each month and we work on that. But then also we just have Q&A. We have soirees together. We'll have bonuses. We'll have pop-up events during that. So it's a really, really fun place to go. And that is another deep passion of mine. And you can also work with me one-on-one. That's another way that we, through the course, and if you take the course, you've been listening to these podcasts, and working with me one-on-one is another way that we can go deeper into the work if you really want to shift and transform. When you do the work working one-on-one with a coach, I've worked with my coach since 2004. I think end of 2004, beginning of end of 2004, and I'm still working with her. I've had other coaches, I've had mentors in my life, and it is the most deep, profound investment and transformation that I've ever experienced in my life. And with all of that, the reason why I'm so passionate with all of you is because I've learned so much, and I want to share it with all of you because I know the impact it's had on me, and I am so passionate about getting the word out, about getting the message out, and helping people, helping women, guiding women to transform their lives and to step into the greatness and the life that they knew that they were meant to live as a ripe, wild, and fierce woman. So a quote, there's so many quotes. I love quotes. So I want to leave you with a couple of quotes. I think I'm going to leave you with two quotes. One is, it's an Oprah quote. You don't become what you want, you become what you believe. And so if you really believe, whatever you believe is, whatever you believe in happens. And there's another quote. Let me share this one. Another quote that I love is this one. It is, I will not be another flower picked for my beauty and left to die. I will be difficult to find and impossible to forget. And that one is by Erin Van Buren. And I love these because it relates to being a ripe, wild, and fierce woman and living a ripe, wild, and fierce lifestyle. So with that, I want you to check out my new course. It's in the link is in the show notes. So if you go to the show notes after this podcast here, I'm going to wrap it up, but I would love for you to go check it out because it's really, I've poured my heart and soul into this course, and it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of sharing. There's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of tips and guidance that I give in there. And I would just love it if you checked it out, and maybe we can work together at some point as well. So with that, that's it for today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and listening to another episode of Susan Unleashed. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.